Hello, welcome beautiful vibrant souls to today's pick a card reading. So we're going to be doing a pick a card all about this upcoming full moon in Aries that will be at its peak on October 9th, 2022. I will have timestamps in the description box for your options below. We have option 1 with this solar plexus chakra stone that says I do. Option 2 with this heart chakra stone that says I love. Option 3 with this throat chakra stone that says I speak. And option 4 with this crown chakra stone that says I know. So if you want, you can head right to your selected option. However, I do want to kind of go through a little bit about what this full moon is going to entail. And before I even start that, I want to mention in the description box below, excuse me, you'll also find a link to a full moon and Aries related fillable PDF journal. This is a journal that explains a little bit more in depth about what this full moon can cover, as well as has 5 journaling prompts to help you kind of hone in on and harness the themes that this full moon may be bringing up for you in order to best utilize this energy to your advantage. Now, I do want to kind of mention about this, if you like it and you decide you want to purchase the PDF journal, and they're only like $1.50. They're just like a little thing to kind of add to your full moon experience, whether you like to do other rituals or manifestation work or release work or not. But if you like that and you'd like to hone in on that a little bit further, the purchase of the full moon journaling exercise also entitles you to 10% off of a lunar guidance session with me, where we have a Zoom session to kind of look at this full moon coming up and plan together how you could best utilize that energy in your own life to achieve your dreams, desires, goals, manifestations, etc. So if that's something of interest to you, I highly recommend checking that out. If you're interested in a lunar guidance session in and of itself, you can always book a session with me. Please feel free to go check that out on my shop link, or you can DM me if you want further details or more of a custom session. So that aside, let's talk about the full moon in Aries. So it's worth mentioning that if you have significant Aries placements or looking at the area in your chart where Aries falls, so like the house and then again any other placements that you might have, is going to kind of add a layer of complexity to this full moon for you. But just in general, full moons are a time of manifestation, culmination, release work, things are finally coming into fruition. But of all the moon phases, it's also the brightest, right? And when we think about what the moon is in your natal chart, and I'm doing a gross oversimplification here, the moon really talks about your inner world, your emotions, as well as your subconscious. And this is super duper important because when we have a full moon, then this is talking about an area of your inner world, both ones that you are aware of and ones that you might not be fully aware of, coming into illumination, right? You're getting insight in an area where you may have struggled to see something clearly before, right? Especially with the image of the moon and lunar cycles, this could be something that unfolds over a period of time, or you've been working on, a facet of that journey for a period of time. And now you're finally getting the aha moment. And that's the thing that, can allow you to start working through blockages towards your goals. So the full moon carries with it a lot of really potent energy for moving forward. Now, Aries in the traditional zodiac wheel rules the first house. Excuse me. It's also ruled by Mars. So this is a time where it's all about harnessing your personal power. Aries is across from Libra on the wheel of the zodiac, and whenever we have oppositional signs, they have like a common, I guess I'll say kind of like shadow element, or essentially it's like a shared quest or problem that they're trying to solve, and they start at opposite ends of the spectrum. The idea is to equilibrate and meet in the middle. Excuse me, I'm sorry. So, Aries and Libra, the thing that they're both trying to negotiate is a healthy relationship to self versus a healthy relationship to others. So any themes surrounding that might come up for you at this time. So for example, Aries in its shadow unhealed side is known for being, overly independent, is known for being kind of selfish, kind of impulsive. They kind of, they do them, and that's all there is to it. And can be, ostensibly combative or aggressive when people, try to inhibit that, or kind of like try to inhibit their personal freedom. And in Libra's sort of shadow side, this is where there's a tendency to be overly self-sacrificial or be people-pleasing to the point of, you're willing to sacrifice yourself in order to maintain interpersonal harmony. So those are both of those signs unhealed. Now, when they're both healed, again, this is the healthy balance where Aries can have that, excuse me, independent streak, that leadership quality. Oh my God, I'm sorry, guys. That sense of drive, but they also can balance it with the needs of the group, with the needs of others. And this can make them a very, a very powerful person, a very potent force to be dealt with, as well as a very exceptional leader. And, Libra, when it's in its healed side, does value interpersonal harmony, does work well in partnerships, does work well in a group, but also knows when to assert boundaries, right? So again, you might find that issues come up for you that are illuminated if you are out of balance in either side. And with it being, like I said, Aries is that, it's a cardinal sign. It's the first sign of the zodiac. It's that, the first house is the house of the self. And it also has to do with your physical body and your outlook on life. So this is really a time where blockages in these areas are going to be coming up for resolution, or they're going to be coming to your awareness in a new sense. So this is the moon all about, and lunar energy goes from lunar phase to lunar phase. So this is going to go until the next full moon, which will be in November and be in Taurus. This is really going to be a moon that really helps kind of ignite your passions, ignite that drive. That's really the big thing here, motivation. And motivation toward reaching your personal goals and your personal power. These are at the heart of what this full moon is all about. Any blockages toward your, reaching that full potential for yourself, they're going to come up to be dealt with. This is a time where, especially if you tend to lean more of that Libra energy, and you might struggle to assert boundaries or healthy boundaries, this is going to be really a time to like seize your power, not back down. This lunar month could bring up interpersonal issues where it's time for you to speak your piece. It's time for you to say what you need to say. It's time for you to stake your claim over what it is that you desire, right? To really own yourself. I will also say too, Aries energy is the epitome of the lights that burn shortest or the lights that burn brightest. So Aries is known for being impulsive, for kind of like lacking longevity or running out of steam really early. So anywhere in your life where you might be prone to kind of impulsively go after something, but then struggle to maintain it, or not really like, your motivation, your enthusiasm, your energy might wax and wane in those areas. That's going to come up for your awareness to be built around that subject, or that's going to come up for a resolution. Excuse me. And then lastly, any kind of area where you've been working hard on really claiming yourself and really asserting those healthy boundaries, that healthy sense of self. You've been doing a lot of self-work because, it is the first sign of the zodiac. So we have Pisces into Aries, which is like that rebirth. You're going to see positive returns from that over the next lunar month. You're going to start to see efforts from your hard work, and this is that manifestation that comes into fruition. And even though this is Aries, whatever you have in your first house as well, you might start to kind of see, especially if you have like placements in your first house, you might kind of start to see like a big expansion and improvement in like your personal world in those areas. So that's just like a broad overview, but I kind of wanted to just cover that. Again, if you want to do a deeper dive with more specificity, please check out my lunar guidance sessions, because I'd love to connect with you on that. I'd love to help you plan out how you want to utilize this full moon energy. Yeah, so I think that's everything. With that, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Let's get started with group 1. things are falling. No. Hi, group one. Okay, so you guys were attracted to this solar plexus chakra stone with I do. So I haven't looked at your cards yet, but I was really sensing this energy of, there we go, of personal power very strongly here, more so than with the other groups. Not saying they're not powerful, but even more so with this group, I was getting like this sharpened focus, kind of like you're really seizing your power. You're honing in on it. They're showing me somebody like slowly turning their head from, you know, looking left toward looking straight ahead. It's like something's got your attention. You're seeing something, it's coming into focus. And it's almost like once you cast your gaze on it, that's it. Once you're locked onto it, you're going for it. Or you're finally like seeing something you need to see. You're finally seeing your way forward. And once you go for it, it's like you're just charging straight ahead. You're an animal. I love it. But that's kind of the energy that I'm picking up here. So these might be themes that have been brewing for you for a minute. Yeah, because I feel like you're about to, they're showing me like a cheetah getting ready to start sprinting, and like I feel like you're about to charge after something. Yeah. So let's see what you have for your oracle cards. We have, detachment with Sacred Lotus. This is card 14, so that reduces to a 5. Ooh, okay. Calcite with Moon, there she is. And Transition, that's 13, so that reduces to a 4. Dolphin Spirit, this and that are true. That's 20, so that reduces to a 2. I love that we have like almost a countdown. I know it's not quite there because we're missing the 3, but like that's really cool. Okay, and woo, full moon, surrender to the divine. Okay. Oh, I feel power here. Woo, okay. So I want to talk about this first. Detachment and this and that are true. There's something where I feel like, hang on, I'm just getting anal retentive about these little gravel pieces that look deceptively like nerds. They are not. They make me want nerds all the time though. I feel as if for a lot of you, this is something where we have a mountain in the background. Mountains always, first of all, can you guys see this? I want to make sure I put them all in the frame. I did. Oh, awesome. Nice. I never do that. I'm working on it. I hope you guys know I'm always working on it for you. So this is something where I feel like there's been an obstacle and it's smack dab in the middle, and it's like you can see it coming up, and I feel like you've been trying to figure out how to overcome this obstacle, right? And with transition, I do feel like it is about this obstacle, but it's also this rebirth energy of, and very likely like an emotional rebirth, just because we have the moon here, or like a rebirth in your cognition that also really affects your emotional world. Interesting, we have a lotus right here too. I'm just noticing that. This is something where I feel like you used to have one perspective about how to handle things, or it's like, I can't figure out how I'm going to scale this mountain. I can't figure out how I'm going to do this thing. And I feel like recently there's been an element of surrender. I feel like this might come through a telepathic connection just with the dolphin imagery here. I feel like a lot of this also has to do with what makes you actually really happy. Just because dolphins for me are always like really associated with joy and happiness. Even though they're kind of assholes sometimes. In the animal kingdom, they're kind of assholes. But I love them still. Excuse me. I feel like you've been trying to figure this out. You've been trying to kind of surrender to the changes you know you need to make. And I feel like there's something where you might have been going back and forth between two kind of oppositional perspectives. Or you might have been going back and forth between like, you know, two seemingly like mutually exclusive paths that you could take, approaches, you know, beliefs, etc. And it's like, if I, it feels like it's like, well, okay, if I take this path, then I have to give this up. If I take this path, then I give this up. It's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place kind of energy, and I feel like you've surrendered. And what you've surrendered is your emotional attachment to this situation. I also feel like, we have surrendered to the divine here. I feel like you've surrendered to what needs to happen. This is a very spiritual group going on right now. You might be in the middle of a spiritual awakening or transition into your next phase of spirituality. Just because, we have the sacred lotus, we have lotuses here, we have telepathy indicated, we have transition, surrender to the divine. I mean, it's all over the place. And because you've surrendered, like, again, that kind of almost mutually exclusive, viewpoints. I feel like you've surrendered to the idea that there's wisdom in both ways of doing things, or that both have elements of truth to them, that it's going to be a more complex situation. Because I feel like for this group, especially with I do being the stone and the solar plexus chakra, you guys might be very comfortable in your masculine energy, particularly when it comes to problem solving. I feel like this is, this can be manifested as, I like to have a plan. I like to categorize, like, okay, it's, this is the problem, and then this will be my solution, and I'm just going to, go for it. I'm going to do A, B, and C. This might be like, you guys might be my natural born leaders. Like, this is something that you generally kind of, this might be how you problem solve. And there's an issue where, excuse me, there's an issue where you can't put it in a box, essentially. You guys might be on a divine feminine healing journey where you're trying to kind of like learn to flow a little bit better. And recently, and for some of you, this is happening over this next lunar month, but for a lot of you recently, I feel like you've kind of surrendered to detaching from needing a specific outcome or taking a specific path. This is very much like, because look at this mountain's way off in the distance. This is kind of this energy of like, okay, I'm going to go straight toward it, and I'm going to figure it out as I go, right? You're surrendering to the divine guiding you. And I feel like this was a really uncomfortable transition for you, right? And as a result, your third eye, but especially your crown chakra, is opening pretty significantly. So this might be a month where you're getting a lot more spiritual downloads because you've surrendered to it. You've let it in. Even if that's not something you've done consciously, I feel like it's something where if you chose this group, I feel like you were really trying again to solve the problem. It's like trying to figure out how to put the pieces together. And by kind of surrendering and detaching and being like, you know what, I can't figure this out. I'm just going to let it happen. Or like, I know I need to deal with this, but I don't know how to solve it. I'm just going to let it kind of come together on its own. Now the divine can guide you. Now you can get, downloads. You can get helpful people coming in. We have a 13. This is always that death card energy. Excuse me, now this can happen for you. And it's really interesting that there's, the cards in these decks are all numbered, but out of all the cards that could have come out, we have like numbers that correspond to the major arcana. So 13 corresponds to the death card, 14 is to the temperance card, and the 20 is the judgment card, right? You're going through a massive awakening and transition. And this is like, what I'm hearing is like this pivotal point between who you used to be and who you're becoming. So whatever the issue is, it is about that issue on the surface, and that's a very real, a very real situation to deal with. But beneath that, there's also a level that this has to do with your spiritual awakening and personal development. And that's what this situation in part is here to help you with. Particularly when it comes to surrendering to spirit, surrendering to your spiritual path, and surrendering control, but also surrendering to your emotions to a certain extent. So let's pull some tarot and get some more information. I never pick piles before I want to look at this one but not take it. Okay, yeah, 5 of Pentacles reversed. All right, actually, I will take that. I never look at the 4 of Pentacles is at the bottom. Yep. I never look at the piles, pick a pile before I do the reading, because I never want to influence it with my own energy or my own, perception. but I'm like, have that sneaking suspicion. I'm like, why do I feel in the pit of my stomach this is going to be my pile? Because I always roll my dice to figure out which message is meant for me after I do the reading, after I film it. But I'm like, why do I have just like a sneaking suspicion that this is going to end up being my pile? So let's see what you have for your tarot. We have, yeah, the Ten of Wands. I see that. The Ten of Swords reversed. You guys, are you okay? The King of Pentacles. Oh, goodness. And then the Five of Pentacles reversed. Okay. Trying to do this, but this is not my strong suit, as many of you well know by this point. All right, you know what? I could fuss with it all day, but this is good enough for now. Yeah, okay, cool. So, 2 tens. You guys are ending a cycle. I feel like this is a cycle where, you know, because there's nakedness here, nakedness always implies vulnerability. I don't know if I'll get flagged for this, so here. Because apparently YouTube is afraid of boobs. But yeah, so you guys have been through a really difficult cycle. I feel like this is multiple difficult cycles. And I got to give you credit with the Ten of Wands coming up, right? Because no matter how many times you've been stabbed in the back, you know, again, she's naked, so it implies vulnerability. Like, you always keep showing back up in a vulnerable way. You always keep showing back up authentically, and that's hard to do anyway, but that's especially hard to do when somebody is just like wrenching a sword in your back there. Like, it's hard to be, you know, to be knocked down like that and keep getting back up. Just the resiliency that speaks to it speaks volumes, and it's incredibly impressive, honestly. And I feel like, you know what I'm almost getting? It's like every single wand here is almost like a 10 of swords is what I'm getting. I feel like this group, you have been through a lot. You may have kind of like been stabbed in the back a lot of times, and she's walking toward a town, right? I feel like you guys have been on a quest for a sense of home and community, especially. This also could correspond to, you know, a literal home or some type of financial security with the Five of Pentacles here and the King of Pentacles. But what I'm really feeling like is that you guys have been on a quest to feel like you're at home, to feel like you can rest, to feel like, especially again with the vulnerability implied, like somebody's got your back. And I do feel like in a particular, just because we have 2 people here and we have like a court card, I feel like there's a particular situation or a particular connection where this was like the final straw. This was like the final hurdle. The final thing that you had to kind of deal with. But you're at the end of a cycle. Like you're about to come home is kind of the energy I'm picking up here. With all the pentacles, this also could correspond to a financial situation, a work situation. I'll pull more about it in a minute. But there's something here where I almost feel like, again, it's like you've been stabbed in the back so many times and you've kept getting back up. And even here, they look like they're pretty much the same person, just with different shades of red hair. It's like you've been stabbed in the back so many times and you keep getting back up. And I feel like you guys have reached a point where you're like, is it ever going to get better? Why is this happening to me? Like, and not like, you know, why me? Why me? It's like trying really legitimately to understand, like, what do I do here? I feel like that's the thing that you guys have been working on is I think when stuff like this happens, you know, you guys have, you know, like have time to kind of recuperate and heal your feelings. But I feel like this group especially, like you're very motivated to learn from it, right? You're very like resilient. So I feel like when these things happen, you're like, okay, what do I have to do, right? Like part of you is sad and part of you is like grieving and needing to heal. And then it's almost like there's a layer underneath where while you're doing that, you're like, okay, I recognize that everything serves a purpose. I recognize this is in my life for a reason. So why is it here? And it's this determination of like, I don't want to go through this anymore. So I'm going to figure out the lesson and make the changes I need to make so this stops happening. And that's not a bad thing. I think that's served you actually really well. As a result, you might find that, again, you're very resilient. You're very, with the King of Pentacles, this could represent you, again, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, where you're very stable in yourself. You're very grounded. You've really built something for yourself, and this is more of an energetic empire where you have like a lot of spiritual knowledge and wisdom and skill sets as a result of having to survive through all of these painful happenings, right? And if you think about, excuse me, the swords, like the sword in the tarot is the sword of truth. And she's got 10 in her back. It's like, even in those moments where, you're defeated, you're betrayed, there is so much truth and there is the bounty of wisdom. And I feel like you extract that, right? You carry it with you. You have so much, especially because the wands is the spiritual energy. You have so much spiritual wisdom that has grown from your experiences. Excuse me. But the thing is that I feel like whatever this most recent disappointment, betrayal, or heartbreak was, it's almost like, I don't feel like it's like knocked you down to the point where you can't get back up, but it's kind of like, I feel like there's this energy where you've been trying to figure it out. You've been trying really hard, excuse me, to figure out what the lessons were, because I feel like you see this new cycle, right? There's going to be new obstacles, new mountains to climb on the horizon, and you're trying to handle it the way you've always handled it. You're trying to say, like, what do I learn out of this? What do I do out of this? Like, what was the purpose of this? How can I learn so I don't have to repeat it? And the thing that I'm kind of getting with this full moon, I'm getting like a huge sense of like culmination. Yes, absolutely. But I almost get the feeling that whatever this most recent heartbreak was, you've had to detach from this, right? You've had to detach, and it's not only from this situation, right? So like going back and forth, let's say this was a job and you were working really hard for a promotion and it was like heavily implied or even outright stated that you were going to get it and then you didn't. Like you might have been going back and forth like, was it me? Did I not do well enough? What can I do to improve? And then on the other hand, you're just like, no, it was, this person was undermining me, and like, how can I guard myself against that in the future? And realistically, there's, again, with this and that are true, there's bits of wisdom in all of your hypotheses, all of your assertions. And I feel like you've had to kind of surrender and accept that even though you don't know why it happened or you don't have all the information, it happened. And I feel like for you guys, you've been having to just kind of surrender to the fact that you're not getting all the information up front. And I think that's been very frustrating for you because, again, with I do, it's like, when shit happens, when things hit the fan, I feel like that's how you cope with it. You're like, all right, what do I need to learn from this? What do I need to do? What do I need to implement and integrate into my life? And this one, you don't have the information. So it's almost like this energy of like, this happened and I hate the fact that this happened. So I'm going to try to cope with it by learning from it so it never happens again. And without that information, it makes it that much worse and makes you kind of sit in those feelings instead of being able to try to jump to the next thing. And I feel like this is what you guys have been working on, is trying to detach from the need to know everything. And again, realistically, with this and that are true, the information that you're trying to integrate is complex. It's, there's truth in either side. And for this group, I feel like you've had to kind of accept that. You may have felt left out in the cold with the 5 of Pentacles showing up, and kind of like both by, another person or a situation, but also almost by the universe, where it's like, I don't understand. It's like all I want is to understand and improve and move on. So I don't get it why I am not able to do that when it's like this energy of like, I'm trying to do what you told me to do, or I'm trying to do what you want me to do. And what you guys need to know, and what this full moon might be bringing about or showing you, is that the reason why you haven't been able to integrate this and move on from this experience is that it's not over yet. This might involve, like I said, a boss with the King of Pentacles, an earth sign. This also could be a father figure or a partner. And for some of you, this will be a new person or situation coming in, but I gotta be honest, for a lot of you, I feel like this is somebody from the past that you're dealing with, or a situation from the past. I'm actually gonna pull Another card. Jesus, clarify. Okay. Four of Pentacles, and then the Seven of Cups reversed. And the Wheel of Fortune's reversed to the bottom. So there was the Two of Cups at the top, yeah. For a lot of you, this is a relationship. I have to say it. This was something with that Wheel of Fortune reversed, and we have another 10 in the mix, that it was a divine timing aspect, and I know nobody likes that, myself included. And there was not only divine timing with whatever happened between you guys, but also with being able to work through, excuse me, work through whatever issues were present. So for a lot of you, I feel like this person may have left you out in the cold. This person may have abandoned you, or it feels like that. You and this person may have been struggling to build something stable. I feel like you were connecting more from a place of your wounding at the time than, than from a higher vibrational place. But I do feel like this full moon is bringing around, like this is coming back around. And for some of you, you're getting information with the Four of Pentacles and then the Seven of Cups reversed. I feel like, again, Seven of Cups, we have all these illusions. There's like multiple scenarios. I feel like you've been trying to figure out what happened. You've been trying to go over, you've been combing over it in your mind, but you haven't been able to figure it out. And it's like, if I can't learn from this, I can't let it go. I can't grow from this. And it's just, I'm just sitting here dealing with it. And it's kind of that frustration. So for some of you, what this full moon is bringing in is that this person is coming back around because they've been holding on not only to information that will help you understand the situation and see it more clearly, but they've been holding on to this fantasy that they have for the two of you. They've been holding on to the connection, and they are coming back around to give you some type of conversation or information that will help create resolution and release of this cycle. Because again, we did have that Two of Cups upright at the top. They still love you. They really still love you. This person, yeah, the High Priestess reversed under that. This person's coming forward with the truth. Excuse me. Now, for some of you, this person will want to get back together, or want to get together if it's like a missed opportunity. For some of you, that's not the case, but this person's bringing forth information that will help you get unstuck. And this is because you've surrendered to the divine. You've surrendered to what needs to happen here. And I think that's been very difficult. Also, too, I want to make note that I like that in this deck, the person on the Four of Pentacles is clutching onto the Three Pentacles. Usually they're holding on to one, and they have one under each foot and one on top of their head. Excuse me. So what I'm getting here is this person's been holding on to the partnership that you had or could have, the possibility, right? They've been, with the one on top of their head, they've been really thinking about how to create more stability. And this is why we have this King of Pentacles here. But they've been holding on to your partnership. They haven't let it go. And I do feel like this person's coming forward to tell you about that, to explain what happened, to give clarity. And with the Five of Pentacles reversed, this person knows that their behavior made you feel abandoned. Their behavior was coming from a place of lack, and they want to make it right. Excuse me. For some of you, like I said, this is a work situation or a job, and you're finally going to be getting some type of answers about why things didn't work out, whether that's, information is coming from, coworkers or something like that kind of explains why things didn't happen, or if this is, a new offer coming in, which I'm not really seeing, I'm not seeing that quite as much, but if this is essentially a new offer, you're on a new path coming in, you'll start to kind of understand, okay, this didn't work out because of this. And whatever it is, you're getting some type of sense of relief and satisfaction from having the truth, right? The full truth. And I feel like it's going to help you to kind of be able to move on. You've been practicing detachment, practicing on living your life, working on living your life without getting to always have the answers up front. And something that I feel is really important to mention with these two, your team wants you to know this is the last cycle like this. Of all the 10s in the tarot, these two are like the worst. there's nothing else. I feel like for you guys, this is a very long-standing cycle. Again, we have that Judgment kind of reference with the 20 and the Death with the 13. Those are both Pluto energy. This is the ending to a huge cycle in your life. And it is about this issue, but it's about so much more. And I think that's why it was really difficult to try to detach and make your way through this, because it's kind of like this has been your coping mechanism for how to like take back your power and deal with it. And one of the things that Aries is known for is being kind of impulsive. And so this may have, in this situation, like this may have kind of, it's like if you were to get all the information up front, you may have tried to like integrate it and move forward too quickly. And there were lessons, there was wisdom to be, I'm hearing developed, but like to be harvested from this situation. I do want to say, for some of you, if this is dealing with like a romantic partnership, this person's going to come back and they're in a much better place and they're going to want to try again. It is totally up to you if you want to do that, but I'm saying that because we have transition and this and that are true. So you might be having to kind of hold an equal value and measure what this person did and who they were in the past with who they are now and what they're offering you now. And so this full moon might finally kind of, you know, bring forward the full picture. That's regardless of how this resonates for you. This is absolutely the situation. This full moon is bringing you the entirety of the story in order for you to transition to a new phase, because you're finally done with this situation. You've gotten the lessons, you've learned what's being, you know, what they're trying to teach you. You've ascended, there we go, with the lotus. You've ascended and you kind of, you really opened yourself up even more to spirit than ever before, and really surrendered. And as such, things are finally moving forward for you. So this is going to be a potent full moon for you guys. I think this is just about everything I have for group 1. If you would like a full moon reading for yourself, they are posted on my shop. The link is below in the description box. And once again, if you're interested in a lunar guidance session for yourself, excuse me, those are also going to be posted in my shop. So yeah, feel free to check those out. I'm wishing you guys a safe, happy, healthy full moon. I love you to pieces, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys. Hello and welcome, group 2. I had a brain fart for a split second. Sorry. Also sorry if you guys can hear the lawnmower. We have the maintenance guy going over the ground, so bless his little heart. But you guys were attracted to group 2 with this heart chakra stone, and I don't know why, this feels like delightful. So I feel like you might be getting a really exciting surprise is kind of what I'm hearing. Something where it's like either you wanted it or it was like caught your interest, whatever this thing might be, and it just falls into your lap and it's kind of like, oh, I thought I wanted this and I totally did. This is even better than I thought it would be. It has like a 9 of Cups energy. So I really like that, but this feels like this is going to be just like a really solid month. You guys might have a lot of social plans and you're just like feeling really loved and appreciated. Like I feel like you guys are like among your circle and it's just like, oh, this is such a good time. I don't know, it's really nice. Sorry if you can hear my knuckles crack, by the way. I don't have a good excuse, I'm just old. So let's look at your oracle cards to kind of get a better idea of what we're dealing with. Ooh, yeah, exactly. 13 with desire and red tulip. I love it. I love it. We have, ooh, okay, excuse me, labradorite with south node boundaries, and this is card 21, so that reduces to a 3. Interesting, we have 13, which is a 4, and then a 3. We actually had a similar thing in group 1 where there's almost like a countdown, and I shuffled the hell out of all my decks before I pulled. What do we have here? We have butterfly spirit. Transformation is beautiful with 11, and that's a 2. Okay, so it's like a little countdown. I love it. I'm gonna die. And New moon in Cancer, you and your loved ones are safe. Okay. So this could have to do with a Cancer. You could be a Cancer. This could be talking about something that happened in Cancer season, specifically, well, I guess this would be Cancer, Leo sort of border, but I was going to say July 21st. Okay, so what I kind of feel like this is, you know, especially with I love here, I feel like you guys have been going through a transformation. You may have been doing past life integration, like Akashic integration with that South Node energy, but you've been working on setting up boundaries. I feel like you've been cleaning house in terms of your interpersonal connections. This could be literally cleaning house with the Cancerian energy going on here, but I feel like you've been really putting up good boundaries in your life. And transforming your life by oh gosh, what's the word I was just about to say? It just totally floated out of my brain. So I feel like this process is also, by virtue of doing this, you're transforming your life. And what you're turning it into is that you're really making your life a place that you want to live, if that makes sense. Meaning your life isn't something that you feel like you constantly have to escape from. You know, this could be where you're doing more to take care of yourself, you're making changes in your home so it's more comfortable. A lot of you, I do feel like this is where you're putting up boundaries in terms of your interpersonal relationships. This has this energy of like, if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. And I feel like you guys have been really working on figuring out what it is that you actually deeply desire and slowly filtering out things that aren't that. And that also includes putting up boundaries, even with people that you love or things that you adore that you do want in your life, putting up healthy boundaries. I'm almost getting this energy of like having friends that you love, but that like text you nonstop and it like is stressful for you, or, you know, there's something, I don't know why I'm getting that energy. Like, it's like, no, I want to talk to you, but I can't be around as much as you want. Like, so that, you know, like putting up a boundary in terms of communication. That won't be for everybody, but I'm kind of getting that. And with the Cancerian energy here, I feel like in the past, you know, Cancers, it's a little crab. They have their little hard shells, and they got the soft, squishy meat of their feelings on the insides, you know? And I feel like for you guys, you've had to really kind of like have, I'm not even getting like a hard exterior, but I feel like for you guys, you may have sort of like been a little more avoidant. And this is because like you may have been saying yes to things that weren't really in alignment with you prior, right? And so there's this energy of like struggling to put up boundaries. If you notice with the imagery here, this almost makes me think of like if you're at the center, right? Especially with labradorite being a very like psychic kind of stone, you may have been unintentionally like having people draw on your energy more than you realized. And there was a need to call it back. So I feel like they're showing me somebody putting up a fence, like putting up like an old wooden fence. I feel like you've been tirelessly working on putting up good boundaries with your time, your energy, your communication, your emotional expenditure, in order to really make your life a place where you're happy to live, right? You want to be there. And this is why, and I loved that we had that kind of like, oh, you're spending time with people you love, and then we have you and your loved ones are safe. I feel like this full moon, you're going to be almost in this celebratory energy where you're just really like going and doing things that you love. These could be activities, spending time with loved ones. Your hard work is like now paying off because you put up boundaries. So that way, you know, you can sustain yourself energetically. You can, when you're with people that you love, you can be really present. When you're by yourself, you can really be present for yourself and recuperate, right? You've been doing this work, and as a result, this is going to be just like a really exciting, fun time for you, I feel like. And it's just going to be this nice, lighthearted energy, but it's also going to be kind of like this moment of like, I did this, I can do this. So I want to pull tarot and get some more info. I'm just giving it a little shuffle. I'm almost dropping all the cards all over the place. So let's see, group 2, what is this full moon bringing in? All right, they want me to keep both, so I will. And they want this one. Okay. The Magician, yeah, you're manifesting. Gemini and Virgo showing up in case that's important. But you're manifesting. You're manifesting exactly what you want because you've been kind of like putting in the terms of your order with the universe. This just feels like fun. Oh man, I love this. So we have the Page of Swords reversed. Some of you may have been taking a social media break or thinking about taking a social media break. That's being encouraged if you feel like you need to do that. The Fool. Holy shit, I love it. Okay, we'll talk about it. The Nine of Cups reversed. What the hell were we just talking about? Okay. And the Hermit. What? We were just talking. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Excuse me. Excuse me. Can you guys see these since I'm so good at putting them out of the frame? Yeah, okay. So this is awesome. Again, I almost feel like this is telling a story. I feel like this is the energy you were in. You might still be in this, and over the next lunar month, this is kind of fading away. For some of you, this is something where you're currently working on this, and it's this energy of like, if you've been thinking about, he's a little social media buff of the tarot. If you've been thinking about taking a break, this is really being positively aspected and encouraged for you. Especially when it comes to taking a break because you're engaging in something that's just not what you want, right? The Nine of Cups is exactly what we were talking about. It's a wish fulfillment, but there's an element of just like the satisfaction to it, right? The Nine of Cups to me is that energy. When you crave something all day, you're like thinking about a food and you can't stop thinking about it. It almost rules your brain. And then finally you go and you get that food. And sometimes you have it and you're kind of just like, oh, that was nice. But sometimes you have it and it just slaps, as the kids would say. And the Nine of Cups is that energy of like, you know what? I was thinking about it all day and I wanted it so bad. And I was like, that's all I could imagine. And like, it sounded like it would be so good. And you know what? It was that good. It was exactly what I wanted. It just hit the spot. That kind of satisfaction. And these are reversed. So I feel like what you have done, and again, if this is something that you're kind of thinking more about, this month is going to be a great time for thinking about this, is I feel like you've taken a break, you've taken a communication break, you've been in hermit mode, but you've taken time to really realign with or get in touch with what it is that would actually make you happy. For this group, I feel like you might be a natural caretaker, you might be an empath, a starseed, a light worker, but setting up energetic boundaries is hard for you, especially. And I feel like you've been taking time to think about what it is that you really truly desire. You've made your peace with this transformation where I feel like a lot of you have gotten in this place where you have to learn to say no, even to people that you love. And that may have been really hard at first, or if you're still working on this, that might be really challenging. But you're doing that difficult work, right? And again, the Hermit, we have Virgo here, by the way. And I look at the Fool as Aries, but some people look at it like Aquarius. So keep that in mind. And we have Gemini, Libra, Aquarius here as well. So for some of you, you've really been doing this work. You've been going hermit mode and really thinking about, okay, what do I want? What do I feel guided toward? What would make me happy? Because you're preparing with the Fool here to start in on a new path. And we have a new moon indicated in this card. So this is always a new beginning. So this, for those of you who have been kind of working on it, this month is a time where you're really going to see your hard work come to fruition. You might be coming out of hermit mode. You've been doing this work. You've been putting up the necessary boundaries. You've been and also boundaries with yourself too, like making yourself really think about, what do I want, right? Making yourself really go after, what do I want? And if you skip the intro, I was talking about, that Aries Libra axis where we're kind of having to negotiate a healthy relationship to self versus a healthy relationship to others. And if you pick this group, I feel like you might be prone to be more on that shadow Libra side of being in its shadow, in its unhealed state, being overly self-sacrificial, or kind of being a little bit of a people pleaser in order to maintain interpersonal harmony. And this is what I feel like you've been working on. You've been equilibrating and incorporating more of that Aries energy where it's well, what do I want, right? And taking a leadership role in your own life toward what it is you desire. And this is you're going to start to see the efforts of your hard work this month. And I feel like it's just going to be really, it's going to be really satisfying, both because you're having fun. I see people going out, doing lots of different types of activities. And then in addition to that, there's that personal point of pride, right? You're proud of yourself for the work that you've done because this is actually a pretty big transformative experience for you. I'm almost getting to, some of you might have South Node in Cancer, South Node in Aries, South Node in Libra. But yeah, like I really like this. And for some of you, this month is going to finally bring with the Hermit huge insights about what it is you desire. This is a, you know, with the Fool here and then this South Node card, this is a complete departure from what you have been doing, what you have known. And this is setting you up to start this new journey. You're starting to take the first steps on this new journey and like setting up good boundaries for yourself and for others so you can live the life that you really truly want. Yeah, so there's a lot of insight, a lot of clarity coming in for you this month, and just a lot of like, you're proud of yourself, you're satisfied with yourself. And I feel like as a result, you're going to start seeing even if this is like you're just starting on this process, you're going to start seeing really quick, like little returns from this. And if you've been working on this, this is just going to be like a culmination month where you're like, ah, look at this. Look at what I've done. I'm having a great time, and this is because I did the hard work. And I do feel like for many of you, even when you set up these boundaries, your loved ones and the relationships you have with them are going to be, they're going to be safe, right? Like your loved ones are going to understand, because I feel like this group, you have, I had a friend say this to me once, and this was possibly one of the nicest compliments I've ever gotten, but as a recovering codependent people pleaser, I also, this is my rallying cry to myself all the time, and they told me, I have confidence in you, I have confidence in your ability to say unpleasant things in a kind way. And like, I say that to myself all the time when I have to go tell people things I think that they're not gonna like, and it like carries me through the experience. And for this group, I feel like that's you. You have the ability to say unpleasant things in a kind way. And I feel like you might be nervous to put up some of these boundaries, but just know that you have the empathy, the compassion, that you're an energetic kind of like hub for a lot of people in your life. You have a healing energy. So when you say, you know, I can't always be there when you need me to be, or when you say, I got to take a step back from XYZ, I need time to heal, I need time to rest, you say it in such a way that people hear your compassion for them and for the connection you share in your words, right? So even if you're saying words that they might not like, they hear the intent, they hear the love, they hear, you know, they hear you trying to sustain the connection by making sure that it has good boundaries. So many people that you do this work with are going to respond positively to that. So I feel like this is something where they're going to be a lot more supportive than you might initially anticipate. So this is just about everything I'm seeing for group 2. I love this for you guys. Like I said, if you're interested in a full moon reading, I do offer those on my shop. I also have lunar guidance sessions if you want to have a Zoom meeting to kind of really talk about these themes more, or just the full moon and Aries themes more, and how you can kind of integrate that into your life, into your practice to best harness that energy. That's all I have though. I love you guys to pieces. I hope this full moon treats you well, and I will see you next time. Bye guys. Hello to everyone who picked group 3. Wow, group 2 is like super high energy and like a really light energy. This one I immediately was like powered down almost. So I feel like you guys might have like, this might be a month for, oops, me to throw stuff around. This might be a month for you to kind of be at rest, right? Even though it says I speak, I actually feel like you might not be super chatty this month. I almost feel like this is somebody speaking to you, or these are people speaking like really peaceful, calming truths to you. I feel like you're here just as like a welcome listener. More this month, you're an observer. But this almost feels like you're like floating in serenity this month. And I feel for a lot of you, you needed this downtime, or you needed like some time for healing. Don't be afraid to take time out to meditate this month, or kind of like almost go a little bit hermit mode this month if you need to. It's not even full on hermit mode. It's like if you're in a group of people and you're usually the one leading the conversation, or tending to everyone to make sure they're okay, or like you're always like facilitating group events and activities, you can just be one of the group. You can sit back and just do your own thing this month if you feel so called. So I am kind of getting that right here from this. So let's look at what you have for your oracle cards. You have, awareness. Okay. Gardenia. That's card 2 in case that's important for you. Wow, okay, Sunstone, Sacral Chakra with Deep Knowing, card 6. I have thoughts already. We have, Squirrel Spirit, Believe in Yourself. This is card 57. So that reduces to a 12, which reduces to a 3. Excuse me. And, wow, the Waning Moon, what do you need to release? Okay, so what I feel like is at the center for you guys this month, so this full moon for you guys, if you pick this group, is going to be a time centered around release work. With Deep Knowing and Awareness, there's this energy where you're getting insight about, and this is something you might already be semi-aware of or consciously aware of, but you're really like feeling it intuitively, spiritually, deep in your bones. And this is why you might be being encouraged to meditate or just like be still. You might usually have this kind of squirrel cracked out energy, which I love, by the way. Especially with all the acorns and like that energy of harvest, you might kind of have been in a period of your life recently, or just in general be this person where you're always like, because you think about a squirrel with the acorns and it's like harvest time, which we're experiencing at the time I'm filming this. You might kind of always feel like you need to be on top of everything. This says like Aries meets Virgo with like a shitload of coffee poured into the mix here kind of energy. Like you need to be on top of everything. You need to be organizing things. You might just be like usually very high strung. And this month you're just kind of like chilling. And you're being encouraged to do that. With I Speak as well, I feel like this is Spirit trying to speak to you this month. Because there's something that, with Believe in Yourself, there's something that I feel like you want to accomplish, right? I love that he's got this little acorn, but he's sitting on a gigantic one. And even this one's bigger. It's like you're sitting on more of a harvest than you might fully realize. If you've been trying to like come up with an idea for something, figure out how to do something, figure out how to move forward on something, I feel like you're running around, tiring yourself out, trying to figure it out. And like paradoxically, it's if you're able to stand still, especially getting out into nature, because there's a building here and then the foreground of the card is outside. You will end up finding exactly what you're looking for, because I feel like this is the energy of like you may have already gotten these downloads, but if you haven't spent enough time outside or grounding in general, you're not able to become consciously aware of them and integrate them. That was something that took me forever to learn. Is like, I've been asking for the solution, I still don't know what to do, and I'm getting all these readings that are like, oh, you're getting intuitive downloads. I'm like, where are these downloads? Excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just taking a sip of my iced coffee. Working with Sunstone, by the way, might be really helpful for you. But it's this energy of like, where are these downloads? Like, I don't know. And then I had learned that like spending time grounding helps you actually like ground the download, so you can like access that higher wisdom, that information. So if you're feeling like all over the place, you're feeling really high strung, stressed out, like your thoughts are everywhere, that might be a helpful practice. Because this has this energy of like, the answer is right under your nose. For some of you, this is also where there are habits or patterns that need to be released. And I'm actually going to pull a card to clarify that. And those are what's getting in the way of you moving forward or being like cultivating the awareness they're talking about. Okay, 5 of Swords. And the King of Pentacles. Okay. And I cut the deck for giggles. We have the Queen of Cups reversed, so I'm going to take it. And the Knight of Pentacles beneath that. So this might be in regards to either a relationship or work. There's something where you're trying to achieve stability. And I feel like however the situation is set up, Or like, again, there's like a pattern. There's something where it's not serving you, right? This is usually about petty people, and where we had 2 court cards coming out, and those are usually people. This is why I think there's an interpersonal struggle here. Excuse me, I'm sorry. So this is like petty people. These are arguments. This is somebody who, this card is about like somebody who, when you get into an argument with them, they will say and do whatever they need to do to win the argument. They get so emotionally triggered, they just want to win, and they're not really thinking about how it impacts you long term, right? Or when they feel threatened, they will lash out and try to like make you feel small. And with the Queen of Cups reversed, I feel like this situation or this person excuse me, has really cut you to the core before, and you might be having a hard time letting it go. And with Believe in Yourself coming up with Squirrel Spirit, I feel like there's this need to become aware of this dynamic more. You know, I was talking about this before, but Aries and Libra are across from each other on the wheel of the zodiac, and what they both are trying to negotiate from oppositional perspectives is a healthy relation, like a balance between a healthy relationship to self versus a healthy relationship to others. And in their shadow elements, when they're unhealed, Aries can be, you know, impulsive, explosive, you know, incendiary, a little bit selfish. Libra can be, you know, kind of meek, mild, overly self-sacrificial, and people-pleasing. And this kind of has this dynamic where I feel like this is an exchange where whoever else you're dealing with, it's like the King of Pentacles here. We have Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces with the Queen of Cups. It's like, I feel like this is most likely you, my viewer, being almost like that unhealed Libra energy of like, because Libra likes partnership, right, and balance. So when there's like shadowy Libra energy, this is somebody who, excuse me, is willing to sacrifice their own boundaries, their own happiness in order to maintain interpersonal harmony. And then I kind of feel like there's this energy where it's like, oh my God, I'm sorry, you guys. Whoever you're dealing with, this person, I feel like they can be generous. They can be really stable. They're a stable presence in your life. And they can have really good qualities. But one of the things that's not so great is this person's very stubborn, very strong-willed, to the point where they're not, again, when it's like when you guys do have conflict, they're willing to say, even because this person's looking over here, they're willing to say and do whatever comes to mind in order to win. It's like it's their way or the highway when you guys do kind of butt heads. And they're not thinking about the fact, you know, Queen of Cups, this is somebody who's nurturing, emotionally mature, who's loving, who's giving. They're not thinking about the fact that this is negatively impacting you emotionally. And this doesn't have to directly be like a one-on-one interpersonal relationship. You know, the King of Pentacles is a boss, so this could be a work situation. And this also can just represent overall a pattern in your life where, you know, you might be attracting people who have those qualities within you that you've repressed, right? So that strong will, that ability to assert boundaries, that, you know, that strong sense of self, right? It might be that like that is a pattern that you've had. And I feel like, excuse me, I feel like this has over time damaged your belief in yourself. So this is a month where I do feel like with what you need to release, there's a situation or a relationship in your life where you've either been like rehashing this in your mind repeatedly, being like, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? And you're going to have a shift in perspective where it's like, well, no, what were they doing? Like, I deserve more than how they were treating me, because I think you've been like internalizing it and almost beating yourself up for this. And there's greater awareness and insight around the situation. I want to pull a card about this. There's greater awareness that needs to come forward. Yeah, the Knight of Pentacles. I feel like you've been very patient with this person or with this situation. And the Five of Pentacles reversed. You've been trying to heal it with them. Yeah, Queen of Wands reversed at the bottom. Like trying to be, especially Seven of Cups reversed at the top, trying to get clarity, trying to understand. I think you've been incredibly patient with this person. Been very humble, very, you know, the Queen of Wands, when she's upright, is incredibly confident, and so, but she was reversed, right? So maybe like losing confidence in yourself, right? You know, when we're trying to figure out, am I the asshole? Or like, I keep doing, you know, A, then B, then C, and it's like, no matter what, this, we always come back to this, right? We have 2 5s here, so there's a lot of challenges, a lot of, you've been incredibly patient. So this month is going to bring forward a lot of insight and awareness, specifically if you can get calm and you can get centered and spend some time in quiet reflection and meditation, because I feel like you've been stressing yourself out about, how do I fix this? How do I get them to see my point of view? That's especially something that's coming through, because I feel like you've been trying to bring awareness to them, because that's what you would want, because you want to solve the problem. But the thing is that you can never achieve balance between one person who wants to solve a problem collaboratively and one person who wants to solve a problem combatively. Because for this person, it's a power struggle. For this person, it's a process of relating to one another better. So until this person who wants it to be a power struggle is willing to look at it collaboratively, and this person who wants it to be a form of relating is able to assert themselves and like put in solid boundaries, you guys will never see eye to eye. You'll never really solve it. And with this being at the center, this person will always take the low road until they get that insight and that awareness and that nudge from spirit to grow and ascend. No matter how patient you are with them, no matter how much you try to empathize with them and connect with them, you're going to always end up back in the same place until the other person learns to start really valuing how they make you feel, right? Valuing your contribution. And it's not saying that they're a bad person necessarily, but they might not be as emotionally mature as you. They might not be, you know, able to connect with you in that space at this time. And there's something where it's like, I feel like you've internalized this about what's wrong with me, instead of putting appropriate, I don't want to say blame, but put a responsibility, accountability, there we go. Putting appropriate responsibility and accountability on the other person. So I do feel like this month is going to kind of bring that forward. And with believe in yourself, I also do feel like this is going to help you explore a new avenue. Oh my God. Death, the devil, wow, 8 of Wands reversed, Judgment reversed, Knight of Swords reversed, and the Lovers. This is absolutely a relationship. Yeah, because this is an old karmic pattern both of you are dealing with. Whoever this is a karmic partner, even if it's not love related. And the thing is that there's this transformation that needs to happen within you. And it's all about what you deserve in connections, right? Seizing your personal power. Because this has kept you stuck with the 8 of Wands. This might be in communication. That's especially hard. I see this with the Knight of Swords reversed. You might have this dynamic that repeats in your interpersonal relationships where you struggle to speak up for yourself, and the other person you're working with almost overcompensates. They are bossy. They are unkind. They are cutting with their words when they feel triggered, right? The Knight of Swords is smart and not afraid to speak his mind, but he lacks finesse. He lacks tact. And as a result, this is why he's not the king yet, because he doesn't know how to speak tactfully. And even when he is the king, he's still not great at it, but he's had enough experience to realize, like, nobody's going to want to, my message will get lost in my mess if I don't learn how to be diplomatic. And he doesn't know how to do that. So you may have attracted people like that in the past, and this is a repeating pattern with Judgment reversed here. You're being called to kind of like take a second look and really do a life review, because your guides really want to help you open up a new experience for yourself. And this might actually bring in a better love relationship, or just bring you closer to what you love in life. But this is all about choosing what makes you feel happy, what makes your heart sing, what is actually, I'm hearing, restorative to you. So this entire month is going to bring forward insights about how to better cultivate what you love in your life and let go of what is toxic to you. Because in the traditional cards, this usually shows the same couple, but they're naked. And both of you know what I'm seeing too with the Death here? It's like both parties need to go through a transformation. But it's like night and day difference, right? Even though in the traditional cards they look the same, one is presided over by an angel, by spirit, by the divine, and one is presided over by the devil, so it's the ego and things that keep us trapped. And this month is going to be a time to get a lot of insights between how to let go of this and how to move toward this. So that is very exciting. I think that's everything I have for you guys. If you are looking for a full moon reading for yourself, those are in my shop. The link is in the description box. And if you're interested in a lunar guidance session, those are also in my shop. The link to my shop's in the description box. All my stuff is there. But yeah, that's a good option to have a Zoom session with me to go over this information more, go over your personal astrology, just kind of figure out how to best harness the energy of this full moon for your life and how to apply it in your life in particular. So I'm wishing you guys a safe, happy, healthy full moon. I'm so happy you were here. Thank you so much. I love you guys to pieces, and I'll hopefully see you soon. Bye. Hello and welcome, beautiful, vibrant souls who are attracted to group 4 with the, because I can do numbers, group 4 with the crown chakra stone that says, I know. I'm kind of trying to tune in to see what this is for you. I feel like you guys are getting next steps, right? Because I'm like, okay, is this like an epiphany? Are we honing in on like, what is this bringing in? Is this enlightenment? I feel like whatever this is, you already are aware of it. You've already kind of started this journey, but you're getting like more clarity on your next steps. And this is very likely toward a personal goal of yours with that Aries energy coming through. But it's like, it's almost as the energy of like, okay, I got clarity around steps 1 and 2, and then throughout this lunar month you're kind of concluding step 2, and then they give you step 3. So this just feels like very calm, very pleasant. This also could provide more information for how to take those next steps more sustainably, because again, Aries can be known for getting really charged up and like starting something and kind of running out of steam. So this feels like your guides are giving you, they're giving you insight, downloads, and awareness piecemeal to help you sustain your energy throughout this process, whatever this thing is for you. So let's see what cards you have, because I already am interested by this. We have, confidence. All right, Poet's Narcissus. This is card 8. I love it. Introspection, there it is, with fluorite, and this is 15, so that reduces to a 6. Yeah, you guys are also the only group that got 2 of the Moonology cards. So, Dove Spirit with Be Peace, card 21, that reduces to a 3. A Time for Healing, Balsamic Moon. Oh, it sounds tasty. I want one. And then, New Moon in Virgo, A Time to Give rather than take. Okay. So this might be why things are moving kind of slowly. I feel like a lot of you are healing issues around confidence. I feel like for a lot of you, again, you've already had this breakthrough about yourself. And this might just be, across the board. Aries does rule the first house, which is the house of the self. But this is going to be a time to further reflect. So this might be a self-healing journey that you're on. This might be, you're kind of going through a rebirth and you're kind of like on your newly minted shaky legs for whatever this next phase of your journey is. Some of you are healing your relationship to peace. You're getting rid of chaos. You're being more confident in asserting your boundaries, because with the number 8 here, you're trying to manifest a better experience for yourself. Some of you may have, I know this is a time to give rather than take. I'm almost feeling like some of you may have been blocked toward receiving. And I almost feel like this is, for many of you, this is going to be giving to yourself, or you're kind of getting insights about a healthy give and take, right? Healthy reciprocity, and confidence to advocate for yourself, both in saying, no, I don't have the energy or the time to be able to do X, Y, Z today, or you're getting confident in when to say yes and when to say no, or you're practicing that, your sacred yes and no. And this is creating a lot more peace for you in your life, right? We have 21. This is kind of that world card image. So you've wrapped up the cycle. You're like graduating again. You're starting fresh. But this also reduces to a 3, and 3s are all about self-expression. And with the 15 here, this makes me think of the Devil card in the tarot, and it also reduces to a 6. So this is, again, about like interpersonal relationships, balance, harmony, reciprocity, unconditional love. And I feel like in the past with that Devil imagery, you may have had a lot of karmic restrictions. You may have had a lot of old programs that caused you to like not feel worthy or not feel good enough when it comes to receiving, and compensate by over giving. So you are making progress on this healing journey. I feel like you've had some massive epiphanies in the last, I'm hearing, 2 months. And now you're integrating this information. So your guides are kind of like, this is going to be like slow and steady kind of energy this month, because you've already sort of done the rebirth process, but you're going to be like having people and situations come into your life or come back into your life, and you're going to have a different response than you would have in the past. And you're going to be able to see like bit by bit by bit, and it's going to build on itself, how much you've changed and how you are actually moving forward in your journey as a result of the work you've done. So I'm already loving this, but let's pull you some tarot. I want to give it a little shuffle here. Yeah, I cut the deck. We have the 3 of Wands. So you've been working on this. Yeah, the 4 of Wands reversed, which can mean that some solid structures in your life have had to be kind of taken down, but this has been a personal victory for you. Yeah, because with the Queen of Wands at the bottom, some of you are fire signs, and the 7 of Swords when I cut it again, you're gaining your confidence back, and you're not, I feel like you're not either deceiving yourself or being deceived anymore. So let's see what we have. Oof, this one. And then, not that one. This one. Okay, they want me to look at this but not take it. Yeah, Ace of Wands reversed. Okay, so you're starting this new journey, Page of Pentacles, and I feel like with the Ace of Wands reversed, it's not necessarily exciting, but it's very solid, right? You're learning, you're growing, you're investing in yourself bit by bit. So we have the 5 of Cups reversed. Okay, I like it. I'm going to move these to the side. I'll try my best. The Empress reversed, absolutely. I see that here. The 4 of Pentacles reversed, my goodness. Okay. And the Wheel of Fortune reversed. All right. So all reversals, and that deck was, as you saw, you know, a mixture of both. Can you guys see all these? Nice. Okay. So with the Wheel of Fortune reversed, I feel like it might feel this month like things are kind of moving slow. I also feel like, you know what I'm getting from this is that things from the past might be coming back, and these aren't things that you really want. I don't feel like they're particularly negative, but they're just not things you want. It's like, this isn't for me. And some of these might be things that you were really gunning for. You really like, you know, people that you wanted to come back, opportunities, and it's like it comes back around now, and I feel like you're kind of like thinking about it, and you're like, you know what, this actually, I don't think this is really like for me, or you see it more clearly now, right? And I feel like you're having the confidence to kind of say no to things more, or just to not invest your energy quite as much. There may have been with this version of the 4 of Pentacles, he's holding on, he's clutching the 3, and the 3 of Pentacles is like a solid work partnership, a spiritual partnership. You know, there's reciprocity, you're growing and building together in equal value and measure. And so for some of you, you may have been holding on to like an old work opportunity or an old partnership, an old relationship, and you're letting it go, right? There's something where I feel like there may have been these big tower moment epiphanies, and that may have been really challenging, and you're in this healing period now. And you know, we have the balsamic moon and then a new moon. So this is like you're ending a phase and then you're beginning another one. And I feel like as these things come back around, there's almost this recognition, because the 5 of Cups, as you can see, well, if I can scoot her out, they're crying over the 3 spilled cups, missing the fact that there's still the 2 of Cups, which is like a soulmate or a soul-aligned opportunity that will just make you incredibly happy. They're missing that. And the message of this card when it's upright is to feel your feelings, but not let the grief of yesterday steal the joy of today and the hope for tomorrow, essentially. But when it's reversed, it suggests that this person is, kind of starting to come around, to turn around and see, like, I still have this available. There's still good things, right? And so whatever happened that fell apart, I feel like you're having a turning point this month where it's kind of like, it is like I still have these things, but it's almost like, again, things are coming back around that you either used to want and that like didn't come to fruition, or that you used to have and you wanted back and now they're coming around. And it's kind of this energy of like, you know what? I really was upset about this at first, but I'm actually kind of glad it happened like this. You're letting this go, right? It like comes back around. You're like, I'm kind of glad because I'm doing this other thing now. And I think I want to stick with that. I want to go this way. And I think this is going to serve as almost like a surprise to you because whatever the situation was that fell apart or didn't happen, it was not honoring you. It was not treating you with value and reciprocity. It may have been taking a lot from you. Again, you may have been blocked toward receiving, so there is this heavy imbalance. But with the Empress reversed, this situation did not see your worth, did not see you as beautiful and abundant. And this is what you've been working on, is really knowing your worth and having the confidence to assert your worth and cultivate your life in such a way that it is reflective of your true value. The Empress reverse can also be, I forgot to mention, we have Taurus and Libra represented here. But this is also a call to nurture yourself. And this is what I feel like you're going to be doing through your actions this month. And I keep hearing baby steps, right? So it's like, I do feel like things are coming back around. Some of these might just be, it pops back up in your mind. Some of this might be where we just had Mercury retrograde and people came back, but it's like you're getting opportunities or people coming back around. You're kind of like, thanks, but no thanks. It's okay. So I really like that. I want to get more information though. Yeah, the Two of Pentacles. And then the Three of Pentacles will cover her boobs because apparently YouTube is afraid of boobs. And the Six of Swords, absolutely, with the Hangman reversed at the bottom. Beautiful. We have Pisces here, by the way. I like that we have a 3. We have a 3, we have a 3, and we have another 3. So again, you're expanding, you're expressing yourself. Yeah, this is a situation where I feel like you were going back and forth and back and forth. And you're not going to be going back and forth anymore. Right? You were like going back and forth between like, do I hold out for this? Because again, the Three of Pentacles, do I hold out for this? Like maybe feeling sad about it, waiting for it to come back around. And with the Six of Swords, you're leaving it behind, you're healing, because I feel like you're going to start to finally feel more, I almost said vulnerable, so for some of you, but more motivated to do your healing work. And it's like you find it more gratifying than it used to be. And this is building your confidence in yourself, in the direction that you're going. Because I feel like when this fell apart, you may have felt like really adrift and not know what you were doing. And now it's kind of like, I'm good. You know what? I think I'm good with this. And I'm almost getting, for some of you, this may have been even as long as 2 to 3 years ago that this situation happened. And you've been on this journey of learning how to nurture yourself, to know your own worth. And as a result, you've really done the healing work. And so I kind of want to know what you're headed for. Oh, Ace of Swords. Yes. Truth, breakthrough, communication. That is gorgeous. I love that. Yeah, wow. And with the Ten of Pentacles at the bottom, this sense of self that you are cultivating, this love for yourself, this abundant self-worth, is going to be very stable. It's going to last the rest of your life. You're really putting in the effort and the work to cultivate a stable foundation for yourself that will last. So this is just about everything I'm seeing for group 4. I hope this has been helpful. If you're looking for help with your specific lunar needs, please feel free to check out the link to my shop in the description box below. I'm wishing you guys a safe, happy, healthy full moon. I love you guys to pieces, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.